With that, let's now get into the last 18 minutes of trade. Joining us in the studio are Anuj and Mr. Tulsian is here as well.
So the mass mission really having effect there. A countdown 18, 17, 16, 15.
We've been doing it every day for the last 1 month. Amrish Baliga of Edelweiss Financial Services also joins in on this closing countdown. Amrish, short-lived Diwali rally, you think, or is this just a minor pause in that?
No, I think this is a minor pause because clearly the momentum is there in the market. FII flows are continuing. You have results which are better than expected. So I think overall this momentum will continue. Possibly, it's a pause for a while. I think this is possibly an opportunity for those who couldn't enter the markets earlier, possibly for them to enter at slightly lower levels. So I don't see the markets really going below that 6,150 mark, because clearly that 6,000 levels is a very good support. So possibly either 50-70 points more from here. I think people should utilize that to re-enter and ride it to levels of about possibly 6,400, 6,450.
Amrish, today the bias has certainly been for mid caps. Is that a easy game to play? Do you see that continuing? Because as we've been telling our viewers, the mid cap index is still 40% off its all-time highs.
Absolutely. This is what we've been saying for the past few weeks, that possibly once you have the large cap rally getting over, I really would not say it's getting over, but then it will slow down and you will have the mid caps actually catching up, and that's exactly what you'll see possibly over the next 1.5-2 months going ahead.
The index is now at days low. 6250 is there on the Nifty, so not looking good. And you know what, no disrespect to analysts, but this market bottomed out when almost everyone cut the Sensex and Nifty targets.
Okay.
And you know, this morning we were talking about it, almost everyone is now raising it back.
So maybe
so
it's a
no
lag
disrespect
effect
to anyone, but could be a bit of a peaking out indicator. You know, Friday we had the FI flows on the quite lower side. Yes, there is a lot of mid cap buying, but mid cap buying won't mean that, you know, FI is buying 1,000 crores or so. Today will be a test. You know, if on today's selling, if we have seen FI actually again put in,
which means they're coming into mid cap.
Exactly.
Okay.
So today's FI number would be litmus test for this market and this buy on dips theory on the market today.
Mr. Tulsian, do you see FI having come into mid caps, or do you think this is some kind of hopeful front running?
Senthil, what I really observe, it is very difficult because sometimes, you know, I am not able to differentiate between the institutional investor and FI. Let me put it in this way. Because even when we talk of this selling by the domestic institutional investor, it does not mean that they've only sold and they haven't bought. They have sold, say, 3,000 crore, buying 2,000 crore. So, you know, the institutional investors, one can definitely say that the sector rotations are really happening. And now, if you really see the situation, actually, I'm very much disturbed with today's market behavior, because if you really see the banking stocks, just put your finger on any PSU banking stocks and you will find them in positive. Maybe you can, you know, point out SBI as the non-performer, or, you know, mild negative. In spite of that, the bank nifty is down. You have seen the bank nifty corrected by about 200 points. So what is the end? Come on the private sector bank. Two stocks are really positive, Yes Bank and IndusInd Bank. You have the negative scenes in the HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank. We can keep on, you know, analyzing the weightage theory, the, you know, the effect on the contribution in the up and down. So what my point is that right now the entire focus is purely on the banking sector, and some interest which we have seen today is more to be seen in the real estate and metal. So it is very difficult to take a call that, you know, how long that can really continue. I won't be able to say that the FIs are really going in for mid cap stocks, because I don't think so. Because whenever you have the differentials catching up between the front line and the mid cap, even the analysts, they start, you know, recommending those kind of stocks. Take the case of any IT stocks, you know, have gone up. You will start recommending Rolta, that probably, you know, you have the differential caught on. So that starts happening between the sectors and between the stocks.
Isn't the quality of the share you mentioned, Rolta and the top line IT tier, the difference in quality is much more than the difference in quality, say, of a mid-sized PSU versus a large private sector bank. So
no,
the fact that these PSU mid caps are down so much, even now they're down about 30-40% over a year ago. So isn't there some value there?
No, so same thing theory can get applied to the private sector banking also, because my point is Yes Bank corrected from 500 to 220. At that point of time we did not take a call as a value buy, but now when it has moved back to
Because the mood is
360 we
happy.
find it value. So that's what I say, the same theory can apply to any class of stocks. You just cannot identify and crystallize that particular theory or approach to the few stocks, like PSU banking stocks, or maybe like mid cap, or maybe like private sector banking.
Amrish, from the Nifty, the three of the most expensive stocks have today corrected. ITC, TCS, Lupin, Sun Pharma. Would you buy any of these?
ITC is one stock which I will look at buying possibly at slightly lower levels. I think 300, 305 I think should be a level to start buying ITC again for long term. I mean you really don't expect ITC to bounce back like the way the other mid caps could move in the next couple of weeks. But then again ITC is a long term story.
What's your view on auto stocks, Amrish, if I may ask you that? We've seen some very discouraging sales numbers come in over the weekend. Now, last month,
Right.
we saw good numbers come in, but the fear was that this is dealer inventory being built up, and that fear seems to have come true.
Absolutely, I think that's what we were discussing, I think in the last two sessions which I had with you. So I think it's basically the dealer inventory which was actually playing out. And if you're talking of, specific stocks, I would surely suggest one to look at Tata Motors and Mahindra, both which will not really get affected by the domestic sales, especially Tata Motors because it is clearly JLR which plays on that. And Mahindra clearly is the rural demand which will actually push this stock up. So I think at these levels, these are the two stocks which one should look at.
Amrish, since everybody is looking at mid caps today, any ideas there? Let me ask you a question. Is Jubilant FoodWorks and Torrent Power both shares buzzing today?
Jubilant, again, I'm not too bullish on that stock. I mean, although it's moved really well today, clearly I think the ground level situation is slightly different, and clearly the demand seems to have slowed down as far as this sector is concerned. Again, you don't really, have the same sort of margins which they were enjoying earlier. So I think with this sort of a rise, I think it's possibly time to exit Jubilant FoodWorks at these levels.
Torrent Power? Yeah.
Yes. No, go ahead, Torrent Power.
Torrent, in fact, I'm not really tracking it closely, so it's a bit difficult for me to really comment on that.
I wanted to talk about some of the Goldman stocks that Nimesh was listing in terms of mid-cap picks, but we do need to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get views on Adani Power, NHPC, Grasim, Container Corp, Adani Ports, and a bunch of other mid-cap stocks that investors seem to like. Also on the other side, how to stay 9 to 5 fit. Watch well-known wellness expert Namita Jain on Closing Bell. She'll be joining us in just a bit.
Mark, we got Amrish Baliga and Mr. SP Tulsian here to take us through the final trades. Mr. Tulsian, as we were discussing the Goldman Sachs list, would you like to let me just pick up three mid-cap shares that they have highlighted? Adani Power, NHPC. Would you?
Grasim, Container Corp, and Adani Ports. Let's
No,
add
I'm only comfortable with Adani Port because really if you see the growth, the kind
That's
of
an
growth
infrastructure.
the port is really showing. But I don't understand for Grasim because I'm not positive on the viscose staple fiber and the chlor-alkali business which they have. That is purely a holding company for Ultratech Cement. They are holding 62-63%. So I don't understand the logic of going for Grasim Industries. Second point, similar is the case with NHPC. The kind of buyback now you have seen, the rationale, I don't understand when the company has a debt of 8,000 crore and company is going for a buyback of 2,300 crore of 10% equity. Again, I don't see any logic. Third is again the container corporations because they have been very good companies. If you really take the case Engineers India, container corporations, dredging corporations, they have all been very good PSUs but very low float. You don't see any kind of upside. You can add even BL, BML also in the same category. So except for Adani Port, I am not very. Same thing is even with Adani Power. You have not seen any kind of price revision happening from CRC in respect to their projects. They have been struggling every quarter. They are losing more than 600 to 700 crore. Even if I knock off the forex losses. So except for Adani Port, I won't be comfortable with any.
that CRC decision should come through because I think we're on the verge of a finalization of what the Deepak Parekh committee has recommended. But Amrish, weigh in here on where you see opportunity in the mid-cap space. We went through a bunch of stocks that Goldman has picked as stocks that they're interested in.
In fact, we have a different set of stocks which we've been tracking and recommending. For example, Bharat Forge is one of them. Clearly, we see the auto ancillary space doing extremely well going ahead, especially the export-oriented ones. So that's one of the stocks which are recommending. Motherson Sumi, which we've been recommending for the last couple of weeks. And again, in pharma, it's Dishman Pharma, where after the scare which we got in the last quarter when the results were not up to the mark, they have in fact bounced back with extremely good results this time. So Dishman Pharma is again back on our list. In fact, we see a level of about 110, 120 for that stock.
Mr. Sultan, I know we have spoken about banks already, but just a word on Punjab National Bank ahead of numbers. Do you think it can repeat what Bank of India or Bank of Baroda did, or is the market hoping for too much?
See, Anuj, Bank of India has really shown the improvement in the asset quality. But and if you really go by the Bank of Baroda, I am not happy with the provisions which they have made. In fact, the problem with all these PSUs bank, closer to 50% of their interest income, net interest income, is provided as provisions. How can you afford to have that? Which is the case in case of private sector bank, it is at about 20-25%. So you cannot afford to have that kind of things. Now take the situation again. Let me add one more bank here, Union Bank of India. Union Bank has shown a decline on return on assets from 0.73% to 0.25% on a sequential basis. In spite of that, we have seen a rise in the share price. So probably the trading momentum. Let me tell you that I have my apprehensions on the asset quality. I have my apprehensions on the fall in the return on assets and fall in the net interest margin. In spite of that, if the stock moves up because the kind of grip or maybe the technical factors which are making the PSU bank stocks to move probably can happen, but I am not keeping hopes from PNB results.
Would you book profit on Asian Paints, another lifetime high, or would you let it run?
See, Asian Paints is not the stock to exit from your portfolio at least till the next quarter, because as I've said earlier also, Q2 and Q3 numbers probably if I'm taking a time call on the stock, maybe till Q3 results, if I see a price of 560 or 540 or 575, probably that could be the point where one can look to exit. But I think this is the best stock to play on the covered call strategy and all that. The kind of options which we see the active interest in the options very well against your stock, very well you can sell your 560 call, 570 call, so it's a beautiful strategy. But even if you want to book the profit, I think it is advisable to take a time call rather than the price call.
We're going to close at the lows of the day. The Nifty down over 1%, the Sensex down 1.3%, and the mid-cap space has also given up a bunch of gains. It's now higher by only 0.5%, Anuj. And the stocks that are pulling the Nifty down continue to be heavyweights: ITC, ICICI Bank, TCS, HUL. All of them are lower today, including the entire pharma pack.
Indeed, and you know what, Menka, the ITC stock closing at day's low tells you something about a bit of fear factor, maybe. It may be too strong a word, but the 200-day moving average for ITC was 323. It's closing below that, 319. In fact, it's closing at the low point of the day. But the stock that would worry traders and investors alike would be ICICI Bank, especially in late trade. The way that's fallen off, 3.5%. In fact, the incremental weakness for the market really came from ICICI Bank, about 10 points on the Nifty fall in last half an hour or so. Also, what was interesting was that while you saw quite a bit of buying in some of the downstream companies like the IOC and BPCL, there was quite a bit of selling in ONGC, which was also very interesting. 2% lower on that stock. We've seen quite a bit of slip off of crude prices, but that normally is a positive for ONGC. It works the other way around, but that hasn't in today's trade. And on the way up, of course, a couple of stocks which stand out, DLF and Asian Paints, both were up 2%. But today was all about mid-caps, and that really was something that stole the show.
So it's all of them. It's Torrent Power, IRB Infrastructure, United Bank of India, Punjab and Sind Bank, Future Retail, Prism Cement. If you look at any of the big movers in the mid-cap share, they're still up. So given up some of the gains, but they're still holding up.
Indeed.
In fact, the volume traders haven't given up their gains.
They haven't, except for Unitech, which is down. But apart from that, look at IRB Infra, that's ending 11% higher. Again, coming back in brokerage radar. IBRCL up 7%, Andhra Bank up about 8%. In fact, if you leave out Jubilant Foodwork, the story of today has been stocks which purely in terms of price to earnings or price to book value are trading at historical lows or have a big differential compared to their bigger peers. That really has been the story today. We've seen big rally in Larsen & Toubro over the last few days. Today is the day of mid-cap infrastructure stocks. and of course the mid-cap PSU banks which are continuing to pile on gains. So that really has been the story today.
So there you go. The market's closing Sensex and the Nifty almost at the day's low. The Nifty, the mid-cap index still up, but given up some of those gains. But as Anuj was telling us, what you will be watching out for are the FII numbers, because if they've been buyers today, it possibly means that some FII buying has come into mid-cap. If they haven't been buyers, well, it could just be.
Yeah, if the number is say more than 1,000 crores again, on Friday it was 200 crores. If the number is again close to 1,000 crores, then that means they would have used the weakness today to buy. That would be the bigger point compared to the mid caps. Again, if you have only 200, 300 crores of buying, that would be a problem for the market tomorrow. If you have 1,000, 1,200 crores of buying in today's trade, that would re-establish the fact that it's a buy on dips market. Who knows, tomorrow maybe is the day when the market recovers again.
Amrish, your call on mid-cap public sector banks, which seem to be trying to catch up?
I think for the time being, you will see those stocks moving up, no doubt. But then, despite the sort of good results which you have seen from like most of them, I think results are better than expected. What we feel is that possibly the problems which they are facing may be actually pushed to the next few quarters. So I think it will come back to haunt them. So I think it's a short-term trade. I think people should utilize that to just ride that rally in the smaller PSU banks, but may not really last too long.
Rate sensitive and the mid-cap infrastructure, which are also are buzzing or buzzed in trade today?
I think, that's where possibly the rally could last a bit longer, because, there is value as far as the smaller infra stocks are concerned. The assets are there. And I think the story going ahead would be the asset sale, what we have seen in the larger infra companies. So I think at these levels, one can actually take a chance and buy those.
I'm just wondering, am I imagining this, or is Reliance coming back onto people's investment radar? That stock is, I think, about $40 away from its 52-week high. But that aside, it's also on the list that Goldman put out in terms of stocks that interest them. Nomura has put it on the list as well. You see interest returning to this counter?
Not really, sir. If you really see, I think probably the post results. In fact, I was very much impressed with the numbers, because the core numbers have really contributed. That is refining and petchem. In spite of that, probably, in fact, I thought that in October series it should breach 940, 945, which it did not. Okay. So I'm taking the trading range for the time being at 890 to 945. The point which you have raised, that the people have started buying it as an investment, it doesn't, you don't get that indications, because probably that would have been given you an indication of the accumulation, but that is not happening, because the moment you see the market corrects, stock also slips closer to around 900. So take the range for the timing at 890 to 945, and I don't think that the investment call has really come aggressively on the stock. Yeah.
I have a metals question, Amrish, for you, and this is a slightly sort of a long stretch in that sense. On the weekend we're going to see that big important political plenum take place in China, and there is the expectation that a bunch of reform measures will be announced in that will be helpful not just to the Chinese economy, but in a sense will also be a boost for the global economy. Now, connected to that, without any specific expectation, do you think metals are in a place today where you might want to invest?
Absolutely. I think this is again what I've been recommending now for the last 2.5, 3 months, that the metal cycles seem to have started to move up, and especially in steel. And that's one of the reasons why we started recommending something like a Tata Steel at levels of closer to about 250. So despite the sort of a move, I think Tata Steel can still be bought based on the expectation that the demand for steel and metals overall is going to start moving up. So I think, even at these levels, one should really, look at buying Tata Steel and also sell.
Mr. Hussain, has time come to make some of these stocks like IVRCL, IRB, Punj Lloyd part of your portfolio? I spoke to some people, in institution side, and they seem to be saying that maybe 5 to 6% of your portfolio could be left for some of these stocks now.
See, Anuj, actually this is the time to allocate 10% of your total portfolio collectively on these stocks. I won't be too happy with Punj Lloyd, because the kind of pain they have in their overseas contract. You should really look to the assets like IVRCL and NCC, Nagarjuna Construction Company, where they have the BOT projects also. In fact, they have a debt very, not much debt. They have the order book of 25-30,000 crore, but they are really serious in monetizing their road projects. And some of take the case of IVRCL, they have the Chennai desalination plant and all that, which is vigorously trying that. Once you have that deal happening, that will give them about 1,000 crore plus, which will be is seen really very positive. The stocks are ruling, maybe IVRC like ruling at 14-15. Nagarjuna Construction is ruling at 23-24. Even one can add the stock at HCC also in that category, because the problems of the HCC in respect to the Lavasa also seems to be coming to an end. So you have to pick and choose, yes, these stocks, but I will keep away from Punj Lloyd, because as such that stock has also gone out of F&O. So you don't have that flavor also coming, continuing, which we earlier used to see happening in case of Punj Lloyd.
Tulsiam, Ambrish, thank you so much for joining us. Before we go, any disclosure? And of course, wish both of you a very, very happy new year. Any disclosure from Tulsiam?
See, maybe the similar advice I have given to my clients also, but no personal holdings specifically in these stocks, except for
Ambrish?
Asian Paints and Reliance Industries. Yeah.
Ambrish?
Yeah, the stocks which you discussed, you can safely assume is there in my personal portfolio and also with my clients.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, are you 9 to 5 fit, or is work taking a toll on your fitness? Watch well-known wellness expert Namita Jain on Closing Bell in just a little while.